Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Rosa and today we're going to be making some bread and just other projects in the kitchen that I've been wanting to get to, like tallow, lotion, balm, whatever you want to call it. And hopefully, I'm hoping that will help with our skin. I'm taking you along for definitely baking some bread. First time ever making cinnamon bread. And I'm also going to be talking about forgiveness and love according to the Bible. I pray that this is helpful to you in one way or another. So welcome to the channel. I hope that you subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. So let's get started.
Now Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father had blessed him. And Esau said to himself, "The days of mourning for my father are approaching. Then I will kill my brother Jacob." Genesis 27, verse 41. Alright everyone, before I get started with talking to you about the topic for today and a little bit about the bread making, I want to make a quick little ad for those Spanish speaking subscribers. So I'm going to be speaking Spanish to let them know that I made a new channel in Spanish so that there is no more Spanish videos and then random Spanish videos and then, English. Okay. Hola a todos, les quería decir que ahora hay un nuevo canal en español que se llama Biblia y Rosas. Voy a dejar un enlace en la descripción para que puedan ver estos videos en español si los han estado mirando en inglés. Hasta luego. Allá los veo. Alright everyone, thank you so much for having so much patience with me as I rearranged things a little bit here. If you didn't see the last video, it was in Spanish, and I put a post in the community explaining why it was in Spanish, and the reason is that my dad was in Mexico, and some family members over there watch the channel, but they don't really understand. And so they were complaining that they wanted a video in Spanish, so I made one. But that is not going to be repeated. I am not making Spanish videos on this channel. I think it'll be too confusing. Anyways, just wanted to let you know. And so now let's talk about bread making. I don't know if you guys remember that I started to learn how to bake. And I was trying to get the sourdough starter started, and I kind of failed. And then I gave up a little bit, but then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna try again. So I'm happy to report the fruit of my labor have flourished. I can't speak English sometimes. Anyways, I am so excited because now I actually can bake a loaf of bread, and the first attempt that I ever did was horrible. It didn't rise, and now I think I'm at maybe the 5th loaf in my baking career. But I'm making cinnamon raisin bread because in Mexico they actually well, the brand is called Bimbo. I don't know how to say it in English, but they sell these raisin cinnamon loaves, and they're so good. It just reminds me of Mexico and my childhood, but they're not the healthiest thing you can have, right? Sugar wise, and I don't know what else they put in it for preserving it. And I decided, you know what, let me look up and see if I can actually make one with the sourdough that I finally got working. So that's what I'm doing in this video. I'm just spending the whole day, well, not the whole day, but some long hours baking and doing some other experiments in the kitchen that somehow maybe failed, or I don't know. You'll see. I guess you'll be the judge of that. Oh, in this household, we don't really consume that much fish, but I was like, you know what, we need to kind of change things up. So here I am just pulling out some fillets so that I can marinate and have them ready by, I don't know, 4 p.m., which is usually when I start prepping dinner. And I just want to show you the experiment I'm doing here. It's the tallow or the beef fat that I got from, actually this is my mistake. Okay, so I read that you're not supposed to use the one that you collect from bones or meat, and so I did, because that's what I had. And so yeah, it smells a little beefy, and that's what they say, that you should use fat that's clean, that doesn't have bone or meat, so that you don't smell like, you know, like a beef when you put the balm on your skin. But anyways, I decided to try it anyways and see, and yeah, it kind of stinks, so I have to tell you that it does. But I have put it on my son's skin, because that was the whole reason I started doing this, to see if it'll help his eczema. But it was a fun experiment. I think next time I'm just gonna buy beef fat, or actually just buy some tallow and try it. I don't know. If you guys know anything about this, please give me some advice in the comments. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. Right, everyone, so why did I start by reading to you the famous wedding verse? I think that sometimes we forget what love really is, and we need a reminder of that. And so God left us his word, and in this verse that I read to you in Corinthians, we see the description of what is love and what is not love. And we see resentment as one of the things that love is not. And so, because that is the point, the topic for today's video about anger and resentment and unforgiveness, I wanted to start with thinking about love, so that we can meditate on why we're struggling with anger in the first place. Because love reminds us that we have no place for those awful feelings of bitterness in our hearts. Alright, so while we stretch and mold the next loaf of bread, I wanted to just slowly unpack this issue of anger and unforgiveness. I wanted to start by talking about Jacob and Esau from the book of Genesis, and I'm going to be reading to you a couple verses, so let's start with those. Genesis 27 verse 41. Now Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father had blessed him. And Esau said to himself, "The days of mourning for my father are approaching. Then I will kill my brother Jacob." So I thought about how to get into the topic, and I thought maybe the easiest way to really think about things when we're struggling is to look at another person's story and to see their struggles and understand what really happened there. So if you haven't heard the story of Jacob and Esau, basically what happened is that Jacob stole his brother's blessing from his father, his birthright. And we can talk about what Esau did wrong, but here the point is that both of the brothers made a mistake. In one way or another, they both sinned, and they both, let's say it like this, they both didn't deserve forgiveness. And that's where, if you're struggling with unforgiveness, I want you to think about the times that you have hurt somebody else, the times where you have regretted a decision, where you have repented, where you desired forgiveness from the other party, because it's a painful thing to carry, the guilt within. And when you are angry with somebody else that hurt you, that resentment is painful. It burdens you to the point where these relationships are broken. They are without peace, and it is not a way to live. It is pure agony. So I want you to hear this from the Bible, where Esau and Jacob forgive each other after years and years of painful fear from Jacob's side and anger from Esau's side. And it says, "But Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept." Genesis 33 verse 4. Amen. I can't go into too much depth with these small devotionals here on the channel, but I do want you to know that if you truly are struggling in this area and want further study, I have a complete blog post on this topic, and I will leave it in the description for you if you want to read it and deep down and sit and pray and just ask the Lord to help you, because He will. So here's how the fish turned out. It was pretty good, and then I added some greens on the side. I wasn't able to share that with you guys, but here's the final look to the bread. It was actually really good. I was surprised because it was my first time doing this particular bread, and I think my husband approved.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yummy delicious.
And here's the famous tallow balm that I made. It was a fun process, even though it didn't turn out the best. If you want to try it, or if you have any comments, suggestions for me, please leave it in the comments. I would love to hear it. A new day, a new beginning, a new opportunity. So I'm just heading out to the garden to check on things and get some kale. And well, you can see, if you have seen in the other videos, here's the update of the greenhouse, and chicken coop is going slow. We haven't had too much time on the weekends to kind of tackle these projects, so they kind of get left behind, but we are still trying to make progress and not forget about them. Let me know in the comments if you guys have a garden, or if you're into any of this stuff that I recently started to garden and, try to get chickens. Let me know in the comments if you have ever tried cactus. In Spanish we call it nopales. And yeah, tell me. I want to know. I didn't bring anything to cut with, and I wasn't planning on getting any, but I saw that some were coming out, so I went ahead and got some. But I kind of regretted it because they were a little bit bitter. I'm not sure why, but maybe it's because the plant is still growing, because during winter it kind of died. But anyways, thank you for being here today. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye. Verse 3, Saul began ravaging the church, entering house after house.